Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be sharing something that is really requested. At least I feel like it's pretty requested because I get a lot of emails, comments, and different things like that, especially on my giveaway video. I did get some comments on this topic, so I want to address, I don't really know how to address this topic. I don't want to sound like I'm ignoring it, so that's why I'm making this video. Everybody's situation is different, and this is my experience with manufacturing and how I went about manufacturing and how it kind of all started with my business. But like I said, everybody is different, every item is different, so things could be different, but hopefully this video will be helpful, at least in terms of going about finding a manufacturer, how to kind of maintain a relationship with a manufacturer, and how I kind of got not scammed, because I didn't get scammed, but how I definitely got really taken advantage of from one of my manufacturers. So hopefully this video is helpful. I didn't really know in what way to film this video, if that makes sense, just because I don't know what type of businesses people are looking for manufacturing, so that's why I can only share my experience, what I've dealt with manufacturing, and how it went. Also, something else, I am not going to share my manufacturer, because that would literally be giving away my business. So I cannot share my manufacturer. That's something that takes years to build, or definitely lots of research. So I will never share my manufacturer. I share a lot of stuff on my channel, but asking me to share my manufacturer is literally asking me to give you my business. So I hope you guys can understand. Sometimes I see questions like, oh, who do you manufacture with, and who's your manufacturer? I cannot give that question. I cannot give that answer away, and I hope you guys do understand that. So with that being said, I am just gonna go right ahead, jump right in, and kind of start talking about my manufacturing journey, because I know a lot of people do want to go into manufacturing and may have questions about manufacturing, especially if you are thinking about starting a business with your own brand and your own products and stuff. So this has been my experience, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. So basically I've had, in the life of my Love Always business, which is what I use manufacturing for, because they're customized pieces, so everything is manufactured. Everything is manufactured, you know, per piece, because it's custom items, so it's not really bulk at a time, it's per piece, since it is custom monogram necklaces and nameplates and all that kind of stuff. I've had, in the lifespan of my business, which has been around for 5 years, I have had 3 different manufacturers, and 2 of the relationships have gone very bad, and one of them, which is my manufacturer I'm with right now, has obviously been a very positive relationship, and I've never felt like I've been taken advantage of, at least until this point, which I've already been with them for 1.5 years. So I feel pretty confident that I'm going to be sticking with this manufacturer long term. So my first manufacturer I started, it was a friend of mine, or a family friend, which right off the bat, you guys, I know there's so many mixed opinions on this. I will never ever work with a friend or family again. Yeah, I have my cousin that she works for me, but as far as like having somebody do so much work like manufacturing and things like that, when big money and big decisions are involved, I could not tell you guys enough how much I would tell you to steer clear from that. So it was somebody that I knew, and basically her prices were they were way too high. She was kind of telling me that if I got a certain quantity that she would lower the price, which I was meeting the quantities and she was not giving me the lower price. So, and how I found this manufacturer in particular was, it was my ex-boyfriend's mom's friend's daughter. And I am thankful, because she got me into like the monograms and all that stuff, and she did start making them, and she did a good job, but we had a really big fallout, because there were lots of mistakes being made and stuff like that. So I did not really make the switch from her until I had my new manufacturer, which how I found my new manufacturer was a local manufacturer. So it was in Miami, in downtown Miami, and it was a small company, and things were rocky at first when I started working with them, but so I didn't switch over. Like, something I would really recommend for you guys, if you are going to switch over manufacturers, do not completely switch from your first manufacturer to the second manufacturer unless you are 110% confident in the new manufacturer. So I hadn't switched over completely, but then certain things happened with my first manufacturer that made me have to completely switch over. And at first things were awesome. They were fantastic. Things were going good. They were producing what I needed. It was local. It was all done in Miami, and they were very open with me in the sense that they would allow me to be very hands-on in the manufacturing process, which is something else I think is very important when determining where you're going to manufacture your items. I would never manufacture customized pieces in China or in Asia or in another country, because it's very difficult to get to that place if there's an emergency. And I've had a lot of emergencies. I know it sounds stupid because it's custom jewelry. Like, why are you gonna have an emergency? But believe me, there are manufacturing emergencies that arise, things that pop up that need to be fixed. And if you are not present, the owner or somebody that can make decisions, you are gonna get so taken advantage of, like you are gonna get rocked. So that's why my manufacturing decision for the customized pieces has solely been in the United States, because it's easy for me, even if it's California, like it's easy for me to get on a plane if I need to and go over there. So it was being done in Miami, which was good. I was very hands-on in the process. I would go 3 times a week to meetings to pick up the pieces. I would see the process. Like, the quality control was really strong, and it was going really good. So I was only with the first manufacturer for about like 6 months, and then I instantly switched to this other manufacturer, which I literally just found by researching different manufacturers in Miami until I found somebody that could meet my needs. So when I told him what I was being charged before, which I wouldn't recommend telling a manufacturer what you're being charged before, he was like, oh, we can do better than that. So he gave me a better price than she was giving me, which is obvious that they're gonna do that. And you guys got to remember that I am turning 24 August 11th. So I have always been the youngest person in any room that I walk into for any sort of business. I have always been the youngest person in the room by easily like years. I've always been the youngest person in the room. And that doesn't bother me because I'm really proud of it. Maybe it would bother somebody else, but me, it doesn't bother because I am extremely proud of what I do. And I typically don't let that, when people stare at me weird, like when I'm in a meeting, because it does happen. Unfortunately, I've been in many different meetings that they've been like, wait, you're the boss? Like, that people have been really rude and not knowing that I am actually the boss. So, going back to that, I really do think that with my second manufacturer, age was a huge factor in the way that I was taken advantage of. So he gave me a better price, which I was really happy about, and things were going great. We didn't really run into problems until about 2 years in. So I worked with him for 2 years. Things were going really good. Everything was good. It was a good partnership. Fine. So then it starts, the quality of the necklace starts declining. And I start noticing, because one, I'm getting an increase in customers sending their necklaces back because they need to be redipped, because it's not only solid gold what I do, it's a lot of sterling silver dipped in gold, which is like gold dipped or 14 karat gold dipped, that's what they call it, or gold plated. So I started to get a lot of these necklaces returned back to me, which had been something that had never happened before. So I went in, I talked to my manufacturer, and I was like, okay, what's going on? Like, the quality of these is obviously not the same as when I first started working with you. Like, what's happening? So then he hits me with, oh yeah, we had to change materials. So I'm staring at this guy and I'm like, I don't understand. I do so much business with you. So I was so shocked my initial response was, I bring you all this business, like I'm bringing you hundreds of orders a week, and you just switch the quality on me and don't even let me know, like the quality, like the dipping process is different. And he was like, oh, well, you know, if you want to go back to how it used to be, we're gonna have to, it's gonna be an upcharge. So I was like, okay, so now you want me to pay extra for what you were originally giving me? And he was like, yeah, it's an upcharge now because prices went up. So at the time, I was getting so many orders that I couldn't say no. And at the time, it was only a $5 increase, which my profit margin was pretty hefty on it. So I was like, okay, you know what? It's only a $5 increase. But it hadn't occurred to me that 5 times 500 necklaces is $2,500. Like, that math didn't occur to me till I started really looking at the numbers, how much it actually was affecting me. So this was like in September when this all happened. And I really think that he was, I don't want to say that because I worked with him for 2 years and I always had a positive relationship with him until this time. So one of the days I get to my manufacturing meeting, like I typically would, and everything is gone. The store is cleared out. So this is like September. We're getting ready to go into December. And like during that time in December, like I am averaging 500 necklace orders a week. Like that's what I usually average. So we're here like trying to prepare, like getting silver, getting all the materials, preparing for Christmas. And everything was gone. Everything was gone from the store. So instantly, like nobody was there. Like it was like an empty store. So I call him and I'm freaking out because I had just come, I came to pick up orders. So I'm freaking out. I call him and he tells me that his business partner stole from him and it was this whole mess and he's trying to work it out and he'll call me tomorrow. So I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is happening? So whatever. The next day he doesn't call me. I call him, he answers like, yeah, I'm getting it worked out, come in Monday. So I was like, okay. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, is something happening? Like, what's going on? Am I gonna lose my manufacturing? I didn't know what to do. So then I go in Monday, everything was like back, and he was like, oh, it was just like a little problem with my, with my partner and it's fixed. So that should have been a red sign to me from the bat, but I was just like, okay, that's fine. Again, I didn't want to do a drastic change to a new manufacturer so close to Christmas. It's just, that's just not possible. So, you know, things were going fine till about October, November. Then Black Friday and Cyber Monday hit. So I bring in my orders. I worked all weekend, and then that Cyber Monday, because mind you, we take from Thursday and Friday technically off. I don't take it off because those are my busiest times. So I'm working it. And so Monday, I come in and I'm like, all right, we got a ton of orders we need to get started on. Here's the plan. Here's this, here's that. Let's get things rolling because we have obviously an increase from last year and we need to get this all started. So, you know, I went in, I'm excited, lots of orders, which is good. And he tells me, I don't have the money to buy the silver plates. So I say, what do you mean you don't have the money to buy the silver plates? I'm like, I just talked to you Thursday and everything was like lined up to work. And he's like, I don't have the money to front the silver. So I'm like, what about your partner? And like, I'm like so confused, like so many different things are going through my head. The main thing that's going through my head is, what the hell are all these people that order these necklaces and are still ordering these necklaces gonna do for their orders? Like, what's happening? So he tells me, I need you to front me the money for the necklaces. Biggest mistake. So I say, okay, I'll front you the money for the necklaces, for the plates, which is like the silver plates, so the work can be done. So fine, whatever, we're trying to manufacture as fast, and I think the problem was that he could not keep up with the quantity that I was bringing. It was a manufacturer that was not ready for the quantity that I was bringing. That was point blank the issue at hand. He was not prepared for the quantity. Even though we worked to prepare for the quantity, he still wasn't prepared for the quantity. And so he couldn't get the plates, so I had to front the cash. It needed to be cash for the plates. And it was like, it was taking long and orders, like they weren't coming as fast as they could. And then all of a sudden it went from $5 extra a necklace to $15 an extra necklace. Now, during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, pretty much the whole month of December, I run sales. I run Christmas sales, so everything is pretty much off the bat 30% off. So I was in such a hard place because I couldn't just cancel all the orders. I didn't have anything else to do other than just suck it up and move forward. So I'm here, I'm dishing out all this cash. All this cash is being dished out. All this cash is being dished out to make the necklaces. And I don't know how, but I managed to get out all the orders for Christmas except for a few that I refunded them their money and still sent them the necklace. And then come January, I look at my bank account. I have no money. I literally have no money. I sold over 3,000 necklaces, okay? And I have no money. Like, literally minimal money. And I'm just like, what the hell? So I start looking at all, and nothing made sense. So I try to talk to him. He doesn't want to discuss anything. He's like, well, this is what the price was. This, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, a disaster. So obviously I pulled back and I said, okay, you know what? I said, I really need to reevaluate. If you cannot give me the same pricing that I was getting before, because now at this point, we were up $25 a necklace because he couldn't afford the plate. I don't even know. He was giving me a runaround story. So I was like, I can't afford this. I'm getting so many costs. I was like, I'm not making enough money. I'm not making the money I should be making per necklace. And I work with an affiliate company. So off the bat, when I sell a necklace from different influencers and social media and stuff like that, I'm getting 15 to 25% taken off the top, which is fine because that's how I get my sales. But then on top with the increases, it was just not working. I wasn't making enough money. So I found a new manufacturer. Actually, this manufacturer had reached out to me around Christmas time, and I wish I would have contacted him back, but I didn't. And I was like, wait a second, didn't a manufacturer reach out to me? So I contacted back that manufacturer, and he was super nice, super responsive, and he was like, yes, let me get you all the samples you need. Whatever you need, you could come meet with me in New York. Anything you need, let's get this working. So I went, I met with them. I toured their facility. So they assured me that they could handle like the quantity I was going to be submitting into them. I went through quality control, everything. So then at that point I made the switch, and the necklaces were half the price of what I was paying, which is really significant. And so yeah, my third manufacturer found me, which is odd to me that they found me. And that's why I was skeptical at first in wanting to work with them. But just because a company reaches out to you, that they heard from you from somebody else, doesn't make it shady. And if I wouldn't have made the switch, I probably would have gone out of business, because my second manufacturer is no longer there. He went out of business. So he went out of business like 2 months after I stopped working with him, because I heard the second manufacturer was in the Siebold building, which the Siebold building is the design district, or the diamond district of Miami, basically. And I have a lot of connections over there still. I made a lot of great connections in the industry over there, not for what I needed, not anybody that could handle the manufacturing I needed, but I still made connections over there. So yeah, he ended up going out of business, and I probably would have gone out of business too if I wouldn't have had a plan B for that. So my third manufacturer that I work with now is amazing. We have a really good relationship, and we work well together. So I've been with him now for like 1.5 years, I think, something like that. Some different takeaways that I have now from learning this process of manufacturing. One, I have every price that I am paying per piece is written out on a contract. And there are stipulations in the contract that say that if prices of gold inflate, then the necklace, not the craftsmanship, but the material will reflect the price increase. So now how my breakdown is I am getting charged for the actual labor, and then I am getting charged for material. So my material, the way that we worked it out is my material, since it is silver and gold and it does fluctuate in price, is the material cost is being dictated by what the market is. So my manufacturing fee and like my manufacturing cost is separate from my material cost. So it's almost like I am purchasing my own material because they are not profiting $1 off of what I am like the material. They are profiting off of the actual manufacturing work. So like I said, it's almost like I'm buying the material for them to do the manufacturing work, and that's where I'm getting the cost from, which is factored into the per piece necklace. I don't know if that makes sense. But now everything is in writing. Everything is airtight with a lawyer, done right, which I recommend you guys do that the first go around to avoid what happened to me. And that's the way it works now. They are manufactured in New York City, which is about, I can get airline tickets for like $100 round trip if I need to. It's right around the corner. It's, you know, it's close to me. So that's what I like about that. I will not ever manufacture anywhere besides the United States because, like I said, I like to be involved. But if I were manufacturing different things, the cost is too expensive in the United States. For example, if I wanted to manufacture my own sunglasses, I would definitely do that in China. I wouldn't do that in the United States just because the costs are too expensive. So certain things I think need to be manufactured overseas, and certain things need to be manufactured within the United States. Just because that's how it is. Like customized pieces, that would be a disaster doing it overseas. But I think there's a lot of benefits in manufacturing in the United States, and I think that there's a lot of downfalls to manufacturing in the United States. So I think that depending on what it is that you want to sell and what it is you want to manufacture, you really have to do your due diligence and you have to do your research, because costs pile up very fast. And if you aren't careful, you will end up not making any money or breaking even or making a few dollars per item, which sometimes is fine. But if it's a higher end item, something that's selling for $200, it's not normal for you to be making $5 profit. It's just not normal. So I think that manufacturing is difficult, and it's hard to find a manufacturer that you can really like genuinely count on. I know a lot of people here do want to get into manufacturing. Since I am doing customized pieces, it's a little different for me, but at one point I did say I wanted to manufacture my own sunglasses, design my own sunglasses, and I was very set on doing that, which I wanted to bring out this summer, because I sold sunglasses last summer that I didn't manufacture, like I wasn't producing or manufacturing them myself, but that the other sunglasses sold very well. So I wanted to maybe design my own sunglasses and get my logo put on them and do a ton of stuff like that. Well, when I started looking into how much money was going to be involved in doing that, it was so extensive, the money that was going to be needed. First of all, if you're designing your own item, whether it be sunglasses or perfume, whatever it may be, a lot of companies require minimums, and especially overseas, because they're charging such a low price that obviously they're not going to sell you 10 at $2 because they'll only make $20. They want you to purchase 500 or 1,000 or 10,000 units. So that can be very difficult and very expensive. And if you are not confident in how much inventory you can move or how much product you can actually move, I would never manufacture that many units of an item, because I have a lot of friends that have manufactured several units of an item and it has gone so disastrously wrong for them. So I'll give you guys an example. My first time that I ever got Love Always into a magazine was right around the time, like a year after I started. It was a Red Book, was the magazine that posted some earrings. It was like these little pearl infinity earrings. And they were gonna put them in the magazine and I was so excited. It was such an exciting thing to happen to me, and I ordered 300 units of the infinity earrings because I thought, hey, they're gonna be in a magazine, I'm gonna sell 300 units. Luckily, they were only $2 each, so it was only like a $600 investment that I had put in. Well, the article came out, and can you guys guess how many infinity earrings I sold? Can you guess? I sold one pair to my mom, another pair to her friend, and then about 4 other pairs of the earrings. Yeah. So I was stuck with about 290 infinity earrings. It was just up to last year that I got rid of those infinity earrings, because when I went to BeautyCon, that I was in a trade show, they wanted us to give like little gifts, like the vendors to give little gifts, and guess what? I needed 200, and I had 200 infinity earrings, so I used those earrings finally last year. Mind you, it was like 3 or 4 years later. So after that experience, I kind of told myself that I am not going to be manufacturing anything heavy like that unless I am confident it's going to sell. So manufacturing, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to manufacture my own item. It's not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot involved, especially when it comes to minimums, and I would highly recommend you look into the minimums and look into all this before you start selling an item and then you can't get it again or something goes wrong. So definitely weighing the pros and cons of a manufacturer in the United States versus one overseas. Also, something else to think about, if you do want to manufacture in the United States, minimums are lower because items are more expensive. So that's something else why some companies do choose to manufacture in the United States, because the costs aren't as heavy. Now, obviously, if you have this great product and you're selling 10,000 units a month, then maybe manufacturing overseas is what you need to be doing. But as far as fronting all that money and not having like one guaranteed sale, I probably wouldn't do that. So that's definitely the biggest key in manufacturing. Manufacturing, honestly, like China makes everything now. They really do. So unless you're trying to create a brand and you have this idea for a brand and a concept for a brand, then yeah, maybe manufacturing is the way for you to go. Or maybe it's just better for you to open a company and sell the item like at wholesale and sell it like under your company. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say? I hope it does. So I just wanted to give you guys this insight on manufacturing, because it's really not all it may appear to be, if that makes sense. I could definitely do another video going into manufacturing, but I definitely did want to get this video out there so people can kind of get an idea of how manufacturing works. So I hope this video was helpful. Tomorrow I am going to go live on my channel and we can talk more about manufacturing if you guys like. I will be live on my channel tomorrow, Wednesday, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna dabble in that, and then I'll just do like a regular Q&A like I always do. So I would love it if you guys could join me tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then. So have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on my live chat. Bye.